Dear SoU, this is the last in a 3-part miniseries that captures the evolution of the Stories of Us workshop. Long story short, the most recent phase of your evolution was vastly influenced by the dumpster fire that was 2020. Having tested a 6-workshop curriculum, we had started making grand plans of training service providers in the East and West Coasts. We had invited ESL teachers across Ontario to come and attend a training in Toronto at the end of March 2020. We had planned to ship displays of Stories of Us storybooks to libraries across the country for them to host. This was going to be the year of travel and scale. Until it really, really wasn't. COVID left settlement service providers scrambling to move all of their programming online. Link teachers who were already overworked were burning out. Newcomers who had low or no tech literacy were struggling to access online programming. And no one had the bandwidth for the kind of immersive training that delivering you requires. I spent April 2020 in mourning and in an existential crisis. I believe my exact words during a team meeting were, "Why does this project even matter in this moment? Why does it matter at all?" In May 2020, I was back at it with the cold emailing. And let me tell you, what a humbling place it was to come back to. We had noticed that English conversation circles, or ECCs, were some of the fastest programs to transition online, and we wondered whether we could record oral stories with them. We got yeses from 2 conversation circles, one at iSands in Halifax and another one from the South Vancouver Neighbourhood House in Vancouver. Our workshops with the ECCs felt similar to the workshops that we had done before, but instead of writing their stories in response to prompts, participants responded to storytelling prompts orally in rounds. I recorded all the sessions, and after the last session, I sent each participant a transcript of their story that I had compiled based on their responses to the different prompts. Participants were stunned to see how much they had said and how well they had been heard. 8 storytellers across both groups consented to publish their stories. While the transcription was time-consuming on my end, I realized just how much more people share when they're sharing their stories orally versus in written form. This learning was in part what inspired the final evolution of your Stories of Us workshop series. In the summer of 2020, Joanna, who we had met at New Circles, got in touch with us about training her new team of employment counselors at the YWCA Jump Scarborough. Saying yes to her meant adapting the SoU curriculum for virtual delivery. And me being me, I also took it as an opportunity to revamp the whole thing. It became 7 workshops instead of 6. It prioritized oral storytelling with some written elements, and it focused more on employment journeys. The biggest difference between the first and second iterations of the curriculum, I think, were in how I documented it. The first version assumed that I would be around to support trainees and provide tips and share files as they implemented on their own after they had been trained. The second version was designed to make me obsolete. It took over a month to get it out of me, but it is my brain on paper. To the best of my abilities, it tries to anticipate every single challenge, question, and confusion that facilitators and participants might encounter and offers support in terms of guiding principles, facilitator tips, and adaptations. Packed with workshop slides, lesson plans, activity templates, and feedback forms, the now 50-plus page document drew many, many tears as it came to life. What's beautiful is that in designing it to be more accessible for virtual delivery, it has also become more accessible to deliver in the in-person world. Yet another example of how inclusive design can have ripple effects that span well beyond its initial intention. And that, my friend, is how you became a 7-workshop series. In another artifact, some other time, I'll tell you about what happens in each of those 7 workshops.